Here we go.
Do it. Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Coffin Talkin', where we unravel the mysteries, embrace the peculiar, and find humor in the unconventional world of funerals and death. I'm here with Frank.
Hi, Ollie.
Hi. Who's eating?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Captivating.
Are you now hungry?
I'm always hungry.
I know. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hold on. What just happened? So tell me a little bit about tell the coffiners a little bit about what's going on, Holly.
Well,
If you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too.
Big news. I mean, it's big news for us. It has no impact on the coffiners at all.
Yeah.
Is that we're moving.
Oh, I was thinking the big impact.
What's the big impact? I don't even know.
You know, like the belly size.
Oh, yeah. I'm still pregnant. I'm 7.5 months pregnant moving houses.
Oh my gosh. But it'll be a good thing because it's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger. It has light. So we wouldn't be in a basement, which is going to be really nice for winter. It has a whole yard and it's a whole house that we don't have to share. So it's just going to be a great upgrade for us. And we're really excited. But right now we're in the thick of moving.
And
painting. Yes. I was going to say very hands-off landlords.
Oh.
So that has a couple pros and cons, but the pro is that they said we could paint. So that's great.
Did they approve the purple though?
It's not purple. We had to do a neutral. That was their only stipulation.
That's okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right. And so neutral is white.
Yeah, it's basically white.
Not a cream. It's just straight white.
It's white with a hint of cream.
Okay.
The paint color name is called Blank Slate. So one slightly darker than it is called Bone White. So if that doesn't give you an indication of how light it is, I don't know what else will.
We'll talk about bones next week.
Oh, great.
Is it? We'll see.
We'll see. Well, that's our news. What's your news?
Nothing. I have nothing new. I'm heading out to the weekend for Ohio.
Yeah, I was going to say that's news.
That'll be fun.
That'll be very fun.
But nothing locally here is happening. I mean, I've been very busy and it's been extremely hot. And so it's kind of zapped my energy.
Yeah.
So I haven't really wanted to, just like today, I was on my way back to work after getting some stuff done for the mortuary and out in the heat. And man, I was just drenched. And I just thought, I'm going to just stop by home and kind of had a nice little nap. And I still got to go back. But, you know, at least I had the nice little nap. I've kind of dried out. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love a nap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for a nap.
Every once in a while, I just need one.
Yeah, you have to take one.
But that's it. Nothing major.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I almost forgot. We should do a Frank fact.
Oh.
What's your favorite type of cheese?
No, I'm going to say either provolone or pepper jack.
Oh, good.
Why?
I thought you were going to say blue.
I do like blue cheese.
You used to love blue cheese.
If any coffiners like Mod Pizza, they have a pizza where they put the blue, or you can opt to have blue cheese put on the pizza, and it's very good. At least I assume. I'm trying to remember back to, I used to take bites of blue cheese.
Yeah, you used to do blue cheese all the time.
And dressings blue cheese dressing is one of the favorites of mine. But if I was to just eat cheese, it would probably be provolone. Maybe just some American cheese just to eat on sandwiches, provolone or pepper jack.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started.
Great. Yeah, let's
unless you have additional things you want to mention.
No, that's all.
Okay. So, Holly,
Yeah.
go ahead and say it first.
Let's be frank.
Okay, let's do. Okay, so so this particular story that I'm going to share with you today is one that a lot of people find difficult to believe that it actually transpires, but it does. And the more and more I talk about it, the more and more you're apt to either laugh it off or to actually be witness to it sometime in your life. You'll probably be witness to it. So in this particular case, we had a individual that had a service. In other words, where he was present, he was embalmed. We had a nice church service, but then we didn't go to the cemetery because why? Why wouldn't I go to the cemetery after service?
Because they're being cremated?
That's correct. That's exactly right. So because they were being cremated, the actual committal service couldn't be for a couple of days. And so it was scheduled out a couple of days after. And we had the committal service. We all started to arrive to the cemetery. And as we were arriving, little highs and greetings were done because it's been a couple of days since you've seen anyone. So, it's just another little brief reunion. There were probably 40, 45 people standing around as we gathered to have the services, the committal service. And I don't know if many of you have been to a committal service with an urn, but most cemeteries have what's called an urn display or hold.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting way that they have it set up. There's a podium for the minister, but on the same post where the podium is, what do they call that? The rostrum, where they actually put their book on and can read from.
Pulpit?
Well, there is a pulpit, yeah. And
No.
but there's a place to put a book of scripture or poems, whatever's being read on that.
Oh, yeah.
And you can go ahead and it's like a music stand, but it's been attached to a pole. And
Right.
the pole has triangular legs on the base so it doesn't fall or teeter. And going down that pole is another welded on piece of metal. I call it a platform, so you can place the urn on there, regardless of whatever type of urn it is. You can place it on there so that it's under the reading materials or speaking materials of whoever's talking. So it's always the focal point at the gravesite. So most cemeteries have that type of a setup, and that's what was happening here. And as I arrived there and putting the urn on this platform, I noticed the deacon had already arrived. So shaking his hand and seeing that the priest was already there, I went over and said hello to him again and shook his hand and asked him to please give me just a moment to get things set up. So I brought the urn over, sat it on that platform, and then 2 or 3 trips back and forth to the car because I was the only one moving flowers from the car to the graveside. And so once everything was set, I just kind of looked at the wife and I said to her, is everyone here ready to go? And she gave me the nod, and I looked over to the minister, and he casual smile. And so he began the services. So he did a service, and then about 10 minutes, 15 minutes after he had started, he was concluding. So the committal service was now over. And I make it a customary thing and his comment at the end was, so I'm sorry that I'm not going to linger. Thank you for allowing me to be here at the graveside, but I'm going home because out here it's hotter than you can feel it. You can feel it in, but everyone started to laugh because it was coming from a minister.
Right.
And he actually said it. He didn't say anything else. He said, you guys can stay out here as long as you want, but I melt in weather like this. Mm-hmm. And so he left. And I just casually walked to the front, and I just said, well, this concludes the services for the committal service. And then a hand raised. I was closing the committal service off, hoping that people would start to leave, but a little hand went up and said, I would like to say something. And so I said, well, let's back up just a little bit, because once he was over with, I immediately called the cemetery crew over to start opening or to start covering the grave.
Yeah.
Now, when they came over with...
Because it's hot as...
And so when he got over to the grave, he immediately pulled the top off of this hole. It was probably 18 inches deep. maybe
Mhm.
20. And first thing he did was place the urn in the hole. So I'm thinking, okay, it's done. And he started to shovel some dirt into the hole, but someone said, before this happens, I would like to be able to either participate by saying a few words or help close or fill in the hole. And I said, well, okay, that's okay, because that happens all the time. And so I waved to the cemetery of the sexton, and I said, please wait just a moment while we see what we're going to do here. And so he just kind of stepped to the front of his little dirt hauler. I don't know what else to call it, but it was a little cabin with a little truck on the back end that would hold dirt. And so he would shovel dirt off of that. So anyway, he stuck the shovel in the ground and then allowed people to come up and just grab the shovel and put soil in the soil in the hole. And so there was probably, maybe, just so you know, of the group that was there, there were probably 7 or 8 individuals that actually helped put soil in the hole. Now, first was the wife, and she didn't put the shovel up the way that you would normally use the shovel, but she turned it upside down so the backside. So there was really no way of containing any dirt. It would just sit on the top or the fringe of the shovel. And then by the time she moved it off the back of this little carrier over the hole, there was probably an inch deep or an inch wide and probably 6 inches long was all the soil that she put in the hole. And then she said goodbye, and she said, I love you, and mentioned his name, and then started to step back and sat down. Okay. Well, the next lady that came, or the next gentleman that came up, took the shovel, and he missed the dirt completely. He didn't put any dirt in the shovel at all. And he said,
none of these people have seen a shovel before.
Well, I think they have. I think that was symbolic. So he did fill his shovel with air, and then he pulled it over to the open hole, and then he pretended like he was dropping air into the hole or soil.
Yeah.
And then he said, this is so that you know how you're making me feel from passing. Totally empty. Okay. So that was that one.
Great.
And then we had an older woman, heavier set, come up, and she grabbed the shovel and did something kind of weird too. But she said, before I put dirt in the hole, there's a couple of words I want to say. And so she took the shovel, filled it with the hull of the shovel with dirt, and then reached in, grabbed the soil off the shovel with her hand, and then put the shovel back full of dirt, but had hand full of dirt in her hand.
What?
And so she's talking, and she's saying, there's just a few words I want to say about so-and-so. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, where is this going? And I'm just drenched in sweat at this point. Dying. And I'm thinking, please, please.
Someone.
Now remember, the sexton is off to the side, and she's talking, and she's just getting worked up. And really, when you get into these certain types of religious ceremonies, you can really work yourself into a
fervor.
Yeah, a fervor. And then, so she's prancing back and forth, but she's prancing a little too close to
no, not the grave.
Yes, to the hole. And she immediately steps into the hole, and down she goes. And I could hear the thud. And I'm looking over, and I immediately rushed over to grab her under her arm, to see if I could lift her up and push her up, get her up on top of the ground again. And at this point, she feels like she's already done speaking, but now her hand is empty of dirt. She had thrown it. She threw it towards the wife, which landed on her chest. And so while this lady's trying to get out of the hole, the wife is over there shaking dirt off of her chest.
Jeez.
So that was it. She steps back, and I grab the shovel, and I'm thinking to myself, is there anyone else? So another person comes up, and now there's a line.
There's a line now.
There's a line now of people wanting to get dirt and place it in the hole. Now, when this first lady went into the hole, once the wife had cleaned off her chest, the comment she said, "Oh, you're standing on."
My
Because
husband.
because the urn is in there. So really,
Yeah.
there's only been one shovel of dirt that's actually made it in the hole,
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
all you're standing on the urn.
Yeah.
And so she makes that comment and she goes, oh, and she's limping, So we had lifted this lady out of the hole and she's starting to do this little limp thing. And I'm thinking to myself, don't even try, and make it an insurance thing.
You can't sue us. No.
Well, I don't know if that was the thought she was, but that's the motion she was going through. And so as she was doing it, I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh. So I look over to the cemetery guy and he's kind of in the truck portion of it, just kind of watching his phone.
Yeah.
So at this point, he has no idea what's just happened.
Oh my god.
So I went on it. I went and helped the lady out, and she's limping. I'm just kind of watching her to see how fast she'll recover. But she's a heavier woman, so she's limping towards the back of the back. And another person comes up, grabs a shovel, and as that individual begins to turn around to drop the soil into the hole, she trips, kind of like twists an ankle or something. And so, but she's not in the hole, which is good because she's limping now because she's twisted her own ankle and she goes to pour the soil into the dirt into the hole. And as she does that, she turns around to put the shovel back in the carry, and she turns around and falls forward, pushing her arm into the hole.
Oh my god.
So it's not now we've had a person fall into the hole with a leg and now her arm. This other person's arm. Yeah. And so rather than go into every single detail, but the third person that came up, the next couple of people, no incidences at all. But then there was an older gentleman that came up and grabbed the shovel. Well, actually, he didn't grab the shovel. He actually put his hand in the back of the hauler and just grabbed a handful of dirt. But he too decided he wanted to say something while everyone was standing there about his friend that had just passed away. And so he reaches over, after he's done speaking, he reaches over and he puts his hand or opens his hand and allows the dirt to fall. And he said, well, that just wasn't enough. And he reaches over and grabs another handful of dirt. But this time he's still looking at the trailer when he's walking backwards.
Oh my gosh.
And he steps into the hole. And then, but he didn't fall he did fall, but not in the way of, tweaking a leg, but he fell backwards and just sat down. And then he just started laughing. And he said, you know what, for the amount of people that have actually taken a step into the hole, maybe that's what he wants us to remember most about this committal.
Oh my.
And so that was it. And so finally at that point, when three for me was enough, I just finally said, you know what, we need to close off this committal service. Plus I was really hot.
Yeah.
I said, we need to close off this committal service. And I tapped on the truck to allow the cemetery personnel to step forward and finish the grave, because there was one guy that decided he would fill it in as much as he possibly could, and then he got winded. And so the cemetery crew came over and finished the rest of it.
Okay.
So once the ground was full and level to the grave or to the ground, once it was level, once the hole had been filled to the level of the ground, they tapped it and everything was fine. I thought, okay, so this concludes the services, when they decided to bring out a case of beer.
Oh, of course. What else does this service need? More, they're falling and they're not even drunk at this point.
So I thought to myself, well, are you going to drink that?
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, oh man, here comes another half hour. But they began to open every can and then pour it on top of the grave.
What?
Yes.
Why?
And because that was his favorite beer.
Was he an alcoholic?
Yeah. I'm not going to say that, but he was. He did enjoy the alcohol. And and then one of his last friends held a can in his hand and was talking to the crowd and was talking about his special, quote unquote, relationship with this gentleman, and that he would come over and do anything he wanted for him and would help him in anything that he requested, like help clean the garage, mow the lawn. Apparently, as I was listening to this, he became a friend of a service friend.
Yeah.
So whenever he needed anything done, this gentleman was more than happy to come over and help him do whatever chores he needed. So he said one afternoon we were sitting talking about what he thought about, because he knew that his friend was suffering from stage 4 cancer, and he was just wondering what kind of things do you want to have done at your memorial? What would be the epitome of your memorial service? And so he kind of went through what had already taken place as far as the services that had taken place at the mortuary a couple of days before, then this small little committal thing. And he said, you know what I'd really like to have done is have some of my favorite beer poured over my grave site. And I guess what happened later with a cigarette that he enjoyed smoking, they started one and then just pushed it into the mud now created by the soil, the topsoil, and the beer.
And you're going, hey, he's already cremated, man. We don't need to try and fire.
That's right. Well, I was thinking, incense. Oh,
how nice.
Yeah. So anyway, he said, but in our course of conversation, when he mentioned about the beer being poured over the grave, I mentioned to him, and he said, kind of in jest, do you mind if I drink it first?
Okay, so you're saying that he said, do you mind if I drink it first? Does that mean that all of these people were actually drunk?
No, what he was hinting at was that everybody else poured beer on there, but rather than pour the beer on there, let me
drink it.
I'm going to drink it first, and then what happens, Holly?
What? Then he's going to spit it out?
No.
I don't know.
What does the body do to excess fluid?
Is he actually going to pee on the grave?
I don't know. I'm going to say it just like he said it. He said, so with that being said, I'm going to hold on to this can and I'll come back later.
Seriously?
That's exactly what he said. And you see, kind of that's what the reaction was with the group. And I thought to myself, are you serious? But he put the can in his pocket and walked away.
Oh my gosh.
So who knows what's going to happen there, Holly? I'm not going to be there to see it. I'm not going back.
Oh my gosh. Did anything else happen here? Because I don't know how it could.
No, nothing else happened.
Oh my God.
But it was interesting that everything that led up to that, and then to have that as the crowning jewel.
What a cherry on top. Wow.
Whatever. Okay. I'm so grateful that your innocence, Holly, was so prominent in that story. And that, what is he going to spit it out?
Surely he's not going to desecrate a grave.
I don't know.
And admit to it in front of the wife, the widow.
Well, when you think about it, the whole cemetery crew is gone by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And so, yeah, I guess they'll come back and close the gates at dusk.
They're going to say, the beer still hasn't dried. Something's still left here.
No, they won't even look at it again. They won't even care. They'll just mow over it the next time they start mowing or moving flowers. So, yeah, I was more concerned about the flaming or the cigarette, but cigarette butt. That's funny.
Cigarette butt. Yeah.
So
at least there's that.
When I was leaving there, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm more concerned about the burning cigarette. And then I started thinking about his friend, thinking, surely that can't be truly what he's planning on doing. But I just left it at that, Holly. I don't know what you think of that episode or story, but it was definitely started out nice with all the memorial service going on, and then all the actions and reactions of individuals that were there at the gravesite.
Yeah.
So you begin to wonder, what actually happened?
Oh my God.
But anyway, our limper from the beginning walked just fine.
Yeah, of course. It's like, I don't have a case.
Darn it.
I actually don't have a case for this. Whatever.
Yeah. So,
that's wild.
That is that episode.
I just think that stories that actually happen where people actually fall into the graves are so common and so hilarious. And they're among my favorite stories.
They're among my favorite. Yeah. Especially when it happens to yours truly. Yeah, is that
That's definitely true.
I will say this, it's better me than someone else.
Yeah.
in my estimation. But I still have 2 stories of individuals falling into graves.
Yeah.
And so we'll get to them eventually. But yeah, it was probably time to tell another story about grave faller.
Yeah, it's about time. We got to space them out. There's too many. Man. No, I think that's hilarious. I love that story, and I think we could just end it there because it's fantastic.
It's fantastic. So I have yet to ask the wife if, in fact, she knows what happened towards the end of the service, or if there was anyone that came back. Yeah. So they were having a huge gathering at one of the homes afterwards for food and drink. Mm-hmm. And so I'm guessing that he would have gone to that gathering, had some food, a little drink, and then probably went back to pay his final respects.
Sure.
To pay his final respects.
Of course.
Of course.
As you do.
That's right. As you do, Holly.
Coffiners, please don't.
Coffiners, please don't.
Just don't. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I can see it sometimes acting with kids. Maybe they would want to do it, but an adult?
An adult
man? I don't know. It was really weird to actually hear it. And I don't know what would have happened with that minister if he were still standing there.
Yeah, I'm glad the minister got out of there. Jeez.
He probably would have corrected him, or his jaw would have dropped. What? If you have any other questions or comments, Coffiners, please let us know if there's something you've seen at the graveside.
Yes, please do.
I would love to hear it.
Please email us at coffintalkingpodcast@gmail.com. And we will see you next week.
Thanks, Coffiners.